Maverick's in-depth overview on 47 American First Ladies. Introduction. The role of the First Lady of the United States has evolved significantly throughout the nation's history. While some have taken on a more traditional role as hostess and supporter of their husband's administration, others have used their platform to advocate for social change and champion important causes. This comprehensive list provides a detailed look at the lives and accomplishments of each First Lady, highlighting their unique contributions and legacies. 1. Martha Washington, 1789 to 1797. Martha Washington, often referred to as Lady Washington, set the standard for future First Ladies as the wife of the nation's first president. She hosted events at the president's house, supported her husband's administration, and worked to improve the lives of Revolutionary War veterans. 2. Abigail Adams, 1797 to 1801. Abigail Adams was the first First Lady to live in the White House, moving in before it was fully completed. A strong advocate for women's rights and education, she was also a key advisor to her husband, President John Adams. 3. Martha Jefferson, 1801 to 1809. Though Martha Jefferson died before her husband Thomas Jefferson became president, she is remembered for her intelligence, artistic talents, and her role as a loving wife and mother. 4. Dolly Madison, 1809 to 1817. Dolly Madison is best known for saving important historical artifacts when the British burned the White House in 1814. A social and political force, she played a crucial role in defining the role of the First Lady as a unifying figure and hostess. 5. Elizabeth Monroe, 1817 to 1825. Elizabeth Monroe's elegant and reserved demeanor contrasted with her predecessor's outgoing personality. She was known for her support of the arts and her efforts to furnish the White House with American-made products. 6. Louisa Adams, 1825 to 1829. Louisa Adams was the first foreign-born First Lady, born in Great Britain to an American father. A talented writer and musician, she used her artistic abilities to support her husband's political career. 7. Rachel Jackson, 1829 to 1837. Rachel Jackson tragically passed away before her husband Andrew Jackson took office. She was known for her love of entertaining and her dedication to her family and friends. 8. Hannah Van Buren, 1837 to 1841. Hannah Van Buren, the wife of President Martin Van Buren, died before he took office. She is remembered as a devoted wife, mother, and homemaker. 9. Anna Harrison, 1841. Anna Harrison was the first and only First Lady to be both the wife and grandmother of a president. Unfortunately, she never made it to the White House, as her husband, William Henry Harrison, died just a month into his term. 10. Letitia Tyler, 1841 to 1842. Letitia Tyler became the first wife of a president to die in the White House. Her legacy includes her dedication to her family and her strong religious faith. 11. Julia Tyler, 1842 to 1844. Julia Tyler was the first woman to marry a sitting president, John Tyler. Known for her beauty and charm, she was also the first wife of a sitting president to be photographed. 12. Sarah Polk, 1845 to 1849. Sarah Polk was a devoutly religious woman who used her influence to promote temperance and other moral causes. She also played an active role in her husband's political career, offering advice and support. 13. Margaret Taylor, 1849 to 1850. Margaret Taylor, the wife of President Zachary Taylor, was a private woman who preferred to avoid the public eye. She was known for her devotion to her family and her strong religious faith. 14. Abigail Fillmore, 1850 to 1853. Abigail Fillmore was the first wife of a president to work and have a salary, as a school teacher. She established the first library in the White House and was an advocate for women's education. 15. Jane Pierce, 1853 to 1857. Jane Pierce was a deeply religious woman who faced significant personal tragedy during her time as First Lady. She was known for her strong spiritual convictions and her devotion to her husband, President Franklin Pierce. 16. Harriet Lane, 1857 to 1861. Harriet Lane, niece of President James Buchanan, served as First Lady during her bachelor uncle's term. She was a popular social figure, known for her charitable work and her efforts to promote American art and culture. 17. Mary Todd Lincoln, 1861–1865. Mary Todd Lincoln, the wife of President Abraham Lincoln, faced significant personal and political challenges during her time as First Lady. Despite her struggles, she worked to support Union troops and was a passionate advocate for the abolition of slavery. 18. Eliza Johnson, 1865–1869. Eliza Johnson, the wife of President Andrew Johnson, was known for her strong moral character and her devotion to her family. She played a supportive role during her husband's tumultuous presidency and helped maintain a sense of stability during a difficult period in American history. 19. Julia Grant, 1869–1877. Julia Grant, the wife of President Ulysses S. Grant, was a warm and approachable First Lady who focused on family life and social entertaining. She was the first wife of a president to write her memoirs, which were published posthumously in 1975. 20. Lucy Hayes, 1877–1881. Lucy Hayes was the first wife of a president to have a college degree. She was a strong advocate for temperance and women's education, and she played an active role in her husband's administration. 21. Lucretia Garfield, 1881. Lucretia Garfield, the wife of President James A. Garfield, was a well-educated and cultured woman who was deeply involved in her husband's political career. Her time as First Lady was cut tragically short when her husband was assassinated just months into his term. 22. Ellen Arthur, 1881–1885. Ellen Arthur, the wife of President Chester A. Arthur, died before her husband took office. She is remembered as a devoted wife and mother who supported her husband's political career. 23. Frances Cleveland, 1885–1889, 1893–1897. Frances Cleveland was the youngest First Lady, marrying President Grover Cleveland at age 21. She was the first wife of a president to get married in the White House, to give birth in the White House, and to remarry after her husband's death. Frances was also the only First Lady to have a candy bar named in the honor of her daughter, Ruth, Baby Ruth. 24. Caroline Harrison, 1889–1893. Caroline Harrison, a talented artist and advocate for women's rights, introduced the tradition of having a Christmas tree in the White House. She also worked to improve the living conditions of the White House and its staff. 25. Ida McKinley, 1897–1901. Ida McKinley, the wife of President William McKinley, was known for her strength and resilience in the face of personal tragedy and physical illness. Despite her health challenges, she was a devoted wife and a strong supporter of her husband's administration. 26. Edith Roosevelt, 1901–1909. Edith Roosevelt, the wife of President Theodore Roosevelt, was a key influence on her husband's administration and helped to modernize the White House. She was also an advocate for the preservation of American history and played a significant role in shaping the role of the First Lady. 27. Helen Taft, 1909–1913. Helen Taft, the wife of President William Howard Taft, was an accomplished pianist and a strong advocate for women's rights. She is credited with the planting of the famous cherry blossom trees around the tidal basin in Washington, D.C. 28. Ellen Wilson, 1913–1914. Ellen Wilson, the wife of President Woodrow Wilson, was a talented artist who used her skills to promote various charitable causes. She worked to improve housing conditions for African Americans in Washington, D.C., and championed progressive social reforms. 29. Edith Wilson, 1915–1921. Edith Wilson, the second wife of President Woodrow Wilson, played a significant role in her husband's administration following his stroke in 1919. She was the first First Lady to assume many presidential duties, including reviewing documents and meeting with government officials. 30. Florence Harding, 1921–1923. Florence Harding, the wife of President Warren G. Harding, was a strong advocate for women's rights and veterans' affairs. She was the first First Lady to vote, fly in an airplane, and own a radio. 31. Grace Coolidge, 1923–1929. Grace Coolidge, the wife of President Calvin Coolidge, was a popular and charming First Lady who focused on social entertaining and charitable work. She was a strong advocate for the deaf community and served on the board of the Clark School for the Deaf. 32. Lou Hoover, 1929–1933. Lou Hoover, the wife of President Herbert Hoover, was the first First Lady to deliver a speech on the radio. She was a well-traveled woman who spoke several languages and used her platform to advocate for volunteerism and women's involvement in sports. 33. Eleanor Roosevelt, 1933–1945. Eleanor Roosevelt, the wife of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, redefined the role of the First Lady by becoming an active advocate for civil rights, women's rights, and social justice. She was a prolific writer, a skilled diplomat, and the first First Lady to hold regular press conferences. 34. Bess Truman, 1945–1953. Bess Truman, the wife of President Harry S. Truman, was a private and reserved First Lady who preferred to avoid the public eye. She was a dedicated wife and mother and focused on maintaining a sense of normalcy for her family during her husband's presidency. 35. Mamie Eisenhower, 1953–1961. Mamie Eisenhower, the wife of President Dwight D. Eisenhower, was known for her warm and gracious demeanor. She was a strong advocate for military families and played an active role in her husband's administration. 36. Jacqueline Kennedy, 1961–1963. Jacqueline Kennedy, the wife of President John F. Kennedy, was an iconic figure known for her style, grace, and commitment to the arts. She oversaw the restoration of the White House and worked to promote American culture and history. 37. Lady Bird Johnson, 1963–1969. Lady Bird Johnson, the wife of President Lyndon B. Johnson, was a strong advocate for environmental conservation and beautification. She was instrumental in the creation of the Highway Beautification Act and worked to promote civil rights and education reform. 38. Pat Nixon, 1969–1974. Pat Nixon, the wife of President Richard Nixon, was a dedicated public servant who focused on volunteerism and charitable work. She was the first First Lady to visit a combat zone and worked to promote international goodwill during her husband's administration. 39. Betty Ford, 1974–1977. Betty Ford, the wife of President Gerald Ford, was a candid and outspoken advocate for women's rights, mental health, and addiction recovery. She raised awareness about breast cancer after her own diagnosis and established the Betty Ford Center for Substance Abuse and Addiction Treatment. 40. Rosalind Carter, 1977–1981. Rosalind Carter, the wife of President Jimmy Carter, was a tireless advocate for mental health care, senior citizens, and human rights. She was the first First Lady to serve as an active delegate to the United Nations and played a significant role in her husband's administration. 41. Nancy Reagan, 1981–1989. Nancy Reagan, the wife of President Ronald Reagan, was known for her strong influence on her husband and her dedication to the Just Say No campaign against drug abuse. She was also a strong advocate for Alzheimer's research following her husband's diagnosis. 42. Barbara Bush, 1989–1993. Barbara Bush, the wife of President George H. W. Bush, was a beloved figure known for her wit and dedication to literacy. She founded the Barbara Bush Foundation for Family Literacy and was the first First Lady to write a children's book. 43. Hillary Rodham Clinton, 1993–2001. Hillary Rodham Clinton, the wife of President Bill Clinton, was the first First Lady to hold a postgraduate degree and to run for public office. She played a central role in her husband's administration and worked to champion health care reform and women's rights. 44. Laura Bush, 2001–2009. Laura Bush, the wife of President George W. Bush, was a former librarian and teacher who focused on promoting literacy and education. She was also a strong advocate for women's rights and health in Afghanistan and Africa. 45. Michelle Obama, 2009–2017. Michelle Obama, the wife of President Barack Obama, was known for her initiatives promoting healthy eating, fitness, and education. She established the Let's Move campaign to combat childhood obesity and the Reach Higher initiative to encourage higher education. 46. Melania Trump, 2017–2021. Melania Trump, the wife of President Donald Trump, was the first First Lady born in a communist country, Slovenia. She focused on promoting the well-being of children through her Be Best initiative, which aimed to address issues such as cyberbullying and opioid addiction. 47 Jill Biden, 2021 present. Jill Biden, the wife of President Joe Biden, is an educator who has continued to work as a college professor during her husband's presidency. She is a strong advocate for military families, education, and cancer research. This comprehensive list offers a detailed look at the lives and accomplishments of each First Lady of the United States. From setting the standard. As the nation's first hostess to championing important social causes, these women have left their unique mark on American history.